round of applause, please, to Johnny Byrne and to Tarn as well. The BAFTA award-winning sound team.
Yeah.
They're so good, they know which mics to go to. That is incredible. Thank you, sir.
Well, we are sound men.
You are sound men.
1, 2, 1, 2.
So let's quickly ask the question, what is it about the Zone of Interest sound that has made it so discussed, and what makes it so special?
Shall I go for that?
You should go for that.
So it's basically those two films. You're hearing the soundscape of a beautiful urban life with a family and their dog and their children, and you're hearing that in the complexity of the house and all the different scenes that happen simultaneously. And juxtaposed against that is a horrorscape of an alternative film that is the most violent film I've ever worked on, and it's extraordinary, and it uses the collective knowledge we all have of that period in time to draw mental imagery in your head based on the context of what you're looking. You believe you're hearing atrocities and murder and coming from over the garden wall.
Yes, it's what your mind fills in that is worse than what you could ever see.
Yeah, I think the images you provide in your own head are worse than anything Jonathan Glazer could give you, or Lucas Sal, but yeah.
Could you talk a little bit more about working with Jonathan Glazer and the research that you put into this project? Because it does strike me as being on another level.
Yeah, I'll handle the second one of those then.
All right. When I first met Jonathan, he said to me, we're going to shoot this film with 10 cameras. They're going to roll all the time for like up to an hour. There'll be no marks. The actors will be able to move around and improvise as much as they want. There's a dog, there's a baby. I want to see everything all the time. How are you going to get the sound? That was my introduction to Jonathan Glazer. And so we mic'd a house and we mic'd a garden as well as micing actors. And he gave us the freedom to make decisions, to make the technical decisions we needed to make. And he trusted us to make those decisions in order to give a few colours in the palette for Johnnie to work with later. See what I did there?
That's a handoff. So, yeah, I think going back to when Jonathan first handed me the script, like a year before filming, he said, we agreed that you're going to have to become an expert on what Auschwitz sounded like in the Second World War. And that involved an awful lot of reading, all the literature available in bookshops and online, but also we had access to the Auschwitz Memorial Museum archive. And it was just collating testimony, and anything where I read that anything would have something that I imagined a sound signature. So there were graphic descriptions of particular sounds like the fence, but also just an event that happened that would have made a sound. And I collated those into many hundreds of pages document, and then set about, with a year left before Jonathan was going to finish filming, figuring out how to make that words into the sound of the atrocities, and yeah, so that was what the research was about.
Yes, and not to be taken lightly, I've been given the privilege of being able to ask all the questions, but I believe I have time to throw to one from the crowd. We've got one up front, and we have a cinematographer fan at the back. We'll stick at the front.
What's it like working on a sound for a film when it's such a harrowing topic? How does that affect you, and sort of how did it compare to other things you've done?
I know for you, Tarn, it was you were filming.
It was very different for us. We were filming in the garden, in the house, and we were recording the sounds of a family living their life with their children and their friends, garden parties and kind of nice stuff. We weren't really aware. Some of the production crew on set actually said to Jonathan, when are we shooting the horror here? We thought we were shooting a horrible film. So for us, it was kind of strange because we were just filming relatively nice things. And it was when Johnnie got his hands on it that, it gets darker.
Yeah, well, yeah, so, I've spent, 2.5 years in the world of understanding what that sounded like. And certainly I know it's difficult for my family because I work in the house at the bedroom at the back, and we had to buy a more reinforced soundproof door to, yeah, I know that after a few weeks I started to feel a bit low, and but I'm really glad the film is out there and the message that's very important is being spread, and that this means that more people will see the film. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
is to the often unappreciated and incredible work of the sound team behind every movie, but particularly of Zone of Interest. Bravo again, and
Thank
a round of applause, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you both, Tarn. Such a pleasure.